it is Shark Week. 2 of these Joth. Just like that, I'm gonna show you guys what I use right about there. 2 20-pound bags, super healthy. It's a little exclusive video. One over there, aquatic plant food tablets. Look at these beautiful pond lilies. And a big shout out to Mike Tyson.
Hana Hui A Maui. Aloha,
my ohana. It is your boy back with another aquatic adventure. Now, if you're new to the channel, we talk about everything in the aquarium hobby. We've got another banger for you guys today. Now, before we jump into this banger, I got to show you the shirt. Check it out. Oh, yeah. Right there, Mike Tyson's favorite movie, Joth. You ever see that Joth movie? It's ludicrous. I better not do that. He might come after me. Anyways, it is Shark Week. This shirt I had to wear in tribute to Shark Week, and a big shout out to Mike Tyson. Anyways, it is his favorite movie though, so check it out. So in my last video, I talked about the pond lilies that I have in Tiki Falls 4.0. I wanted to do an exclusive video on how I'm gonna repot these. Now, I'm not gonna tell you guys that this is the way you do it, but I know what works for me. I'm gonna show you guys what I use. It's super simple, and you're gonna have some beautiful, healthy pond lilies that will bloom a beautiful flower. So let's get to it. I'll show you guys what I got. All right, so here are some of the materials that I picked up. I picked up 2 of these totes. I got it at Lowe's. It's actually like a rectangle shape. It's very wide, but it's also shallow. It's about 6-7 inches deep. I'm not sure about the circumference, but I also drilled, I don't know if you can see the holes. I drilled a total of 9 holes at the bottom, smaller holes with the drill bit, just so the water has somewhere to go. Now, we also picked up 2 20-pound bags of Aquascape pond plant potting media. This stuff is awesome. As you can see right there, ready to use, no mixing required, blah, 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 blah. I've used this in all of my pond lilies. And this stuff right here, shout out to Aquascape, man. This is a great product. And then we also picked up some aquatic plant food tablets. Right there, promotes lush plant growth. As you can see, the pond lily right there on top. We got 25 tabs. I picked this up on Amazon. I think I got it for like, I can't remember, $9, something like that. This bag here was like $28 too on Amazon. Just so you guys know, these are the products we're using. I also got, I don't know, a handful of these smaller pond pebble rocks. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab these rocks and just cover it over each one of these holes that I drilled. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not going to be like airtight. It's just to help keep the soil from leaking or leaching out into the pond. So this is just the little method that I use, okay? It works for me. Like I said, I don't need these, so like I said, I'm not saying this is the right way, but this works for me. So I just cover all the holes with the rocks. Look at these beautiful pond lilies I got from my boy Anthony over at Koi Enterprise. So this has been sitting in the pond, and it's been actually blooming. Look at right there. That is a flower that's going to be blooming soon. All right, so I'm going to take this out of the pot, and we're going to put it in here and kind of break it down, and I'm going to talk about the rind zone and whatnot. All right, and just like that, we have the pond lily inside our tote. You can see it's root bound. You got roots down in here. I'm going to try to break up this soil a little bit, try to expose some of those roots. And the rind zone is right up over here. You can see it. It's right in this section here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant, and you can see the roots are growing this way. So I'm going to put this in the corner here, or maybe over here, so that that way it can grow out this way. I'm going to put it right on this rock right here, just like this. And you can see all the roots, they're going to be going this way. And I'm going to break this soil up a little bit. If you guys want your pond lilies to take off and be super healthy, I'm going to flip these over here like that. There you go. I love these pond lilies. Look how beautiful the leaves are. There we go. I'm just going to break them up a little bit. You can see, expose these roots. And then we'll put that fresh soil on top. There we go. Not really worried about this rock here. I'm going to add some more rock on top of this. So, all right, let me grab the bag of soil. We just busted a hole in it. Now we're going to add all of the Aquascape planting or potting media soil into the tote. I bought 2 bags. These are 2 20-pound bags, but I'm just using 1 20-pound bag per pond lily or per tote. It actually comes out perfect. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna evenly spread out this soil. Super, super healthy for your pond lilies to grow. So this here is going to take off and send runners this way. Rhinestones right here. This flower is going to bloom, and the roots will slowly grow this way with new growth of lilies or lily pads. So it's got all this space to grow, and they don't grow deep, they grow shallow. So you need a lot of space on the top. Width wise, you don't really want to put them in, let's just say like pots. You want them to be able to spread out. And the reason why I'm actually putting them in these bigger totes is because I can control the growth. Now, if I was just to take this and bury it in the substrate in the pond, this thing will go like crazy and take over, and it becomes a pain in the butt to try to like trim it down and maintain it. This way, once a year, I take this tote out, I trim out what I don't want, I can break it up in pieces, make it into another tote, and create more pond lilies if I want to, or maybe sell pond lilies. I can put them online and sell these. But that's the reason why I'm putting them in these larger totes. These things get heavy though. I'm just letting you know, it's like 80 pounds once they're full of the rock and gravel and this 20-pound soil and whatnot. They can be a little heavy, so just giving you guys a heads up. We're just gonna make sure this is all surrounded by the soil. And then we're gonna take our aquatic plant food tablets. I think we'll do like maybe 7. Yeah, that'll work. All right, let's take these 7 and we're just gonna plant them right down into the soil near the base. This is so fun, I love this stuff. Near the base of the pond lilies, pretty much just surrounding it. And these little tabs are gonna give them all the nutrients and vitamins that this pond lily needs to thrive. I'll put one way back here behind it too as well. Whammo. Okay, we got our root tabs buried. We have our soil in there. Now let's add a thin layer of some smaller gravel and rock, okay? All right, so here is some pre-washed smaller gravel and rock that I have. And then what we're going to do is just cover the top of the soil. Just nice and gingerly lay it up on there. Now the reason why you want to use smaller rock and gravel is that way the new growth of the lilies can break through. So you don't want a really thick layer of this pond gravel. You just want a nice thin layer. That way these smaller rocks can hold down the soil so it doesn't float out throughout the pond. But also it helps protect the soil because your koi fish or goldfish are going to want to rumble through all this soil and dig it up. They love to do that. They love to suck on substrate. They love to root down in soil and whatnot. So this is going to help protect all of that. So let's go ahead and lay the rest of this rock in here. Just like that, we have our thin layer of small rock and gravel. And as you can see, it's going to hold down all of that soil so it doesn't float around everywhere. Now, when you put this into the pond, like I'm going to show you in a second, you have to go down nice and slow. That's why I drilled holes at the bottom. We got 9 holes at the bottom of this tote. You want to go down nice and slow, let that water fill up from underneath, and let it settle. You don't just want to drop it in the pond because all of this muck will just store up everywhere. So let's go ahead and carry this over to the pond and set it in nice and easy. All right, we are in the pond, and like I said, I'm going to gently set it in the water and let the water fill up through the bottom of the holes, and you will see this slowly start to fill up from the bottom. It may take a second. Like I said, it's not waterproof. When we place those rocks over the holes at the bottom, it's gonna slowly sink. Let me go down a step, that way you can actually see it a little bit better. And you don't want to force it, okay? It'll slowly start to sink. You can let in a little bit of water from the sides, but once it starts to fill up with water, you'll see the water getting super murky almost muddy-esque, if you will. And then you kind of want to let that just settle. And it'll settle. And you just want to just take your time with this part. This is super important because, like I said, you don't want to get your pond water or your pond all murky. We want to set it in nice and slowly. It will get a little murky, but you know you're controlling it by just taking your time and letting it go and sink very, very slowly. As you can see, that murkiness is going to be controlled by letting it down nice and slow. As you can see, this is the one we just put in. It's starting to clear up already and everything's starting to settle. Now this is the other one I made. This is my other pond lily. I've had this for, man, 2 years now and it's still thriving. So we repotted this one. This one's gonna thrive. This one also has a bloom coming too as well. Where did I see it at? I can't, you can see, look how much these pond lily pads have grown. Look at, there's new growth right here too as well. But I want to show you guys where I saw that new flower bloom. Oh, here it is, right here. Look at, this is going to be blooming too. We are going to set it down on one of the shelves, so it's going to be a little bit deeper. So these will all untangle naturally as you put it down to the bottom. So I'm not really worried about these being all tangled up and whatnot. They'll straighten itself up. Mother Nature has a way of doing that for you, so you don't have to worry about all that craziness. But as you can see, just from me talking, how much it's cleared up. See? And now what we're going to do is we're going to drag these two totes and we're going to set them on one of the shelves this way. Let me show you. All right, as you can see, the pond lilies are right over there in the shallow area. And then what we're going to do is take the pond lilies and plant them on this shelf right here. We're going to plant one right about there and then one over there, kind of spread it out a little bit so we get a nice little mixture of pond lilies. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So your boy's got to get a little wet. Let me change into my birthday suit and do the do. All right, my ohana, we're going to do a little underwater action. I'm going to show you what these look like and exactly where I placed them on this shelf. Now, would you take a look at these babies underwater, huh? Look at these pond lilies right here. As you can see, the gravel that lays on top of the soil is keeping everything down and it's not floating throughout the pond, making it all murky. These pond lilies here are about, I want to say, a foot from the surface. As you can see, the surface there. So they're probably going to reach the top within the next, I don't know, 24 hours. And these set of pond lilies are probably about a good 2 feet from the surface. It might take them maybe 2 or 3 days to hit the surface. See, there's a reason why I actually chose the clear totes versus the black or the gray. It's because it's transparent, it's translucent. You can see through it. And the gravel that's in the pond is going to kind of blend with it. It's actually going to hide it a lot more than if you had a colored tote. And not only that, though, to be honest with you, once these pond lilies right here kind of grow up to the surface and start to spread and like cover the entire surface, you're not even going to see the tote at all. I mean, that's the reality of it. So it really doesn't matter what color. I just chose the clear one. It just works for me, and I like the way it looks. Look at that. Huh? Tell me what you think, guys. Woohoo! We got pond lilies. Now, this is 24 hours later, my ohana. Look at the pond lilies right here. These ones especially. They already surfaced, and you can see new growth coming in. I can't wait for that little, like, bud to seed and flower at the top. That's going to be super cool. And then as we pan over here, you can see these pond lilies are almost near the top. I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah, it's probably a good maybe 3 or 4 inches from the top. And this is within 24 hours. So I wanted to show you guys the progress on how healthy these beautiful pond lilies are. And look how the pond looks. Super pristine. You can see straight to the bottom. Look at that. The pond lilies are in full effect. These ones right here are going to spread like crazy. I can already see all of the new growth down there at the bottom. You see those new leaves right there sprouting out? Ooh, pretty, pretty. And there you go. I wanted to show you guys a little exclusive video on how I repot my pond lilies. I've been doing this for years and it's been working just fine. Now, everybody's water parameters and weather conditions are different, so it may not work for you, but this right here works for me, and maybe you can give it a try. Maybe I inspire you to try to, you know, apply some pond lilies in your pond, and you can control it by adding them and putting them in that tote over at Lowe's, and all the other materials I got on Amazon. Like I said, just look it up. It's pretty simple. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. We still got some more Tiki Falls action going. I'll see you guys on the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care. Much love and aloha.
Hana Hui A Maui.